Letter 508 by Charles Lamb. Enfield to Apra, 1830. Dear Madam, I have great pleasure in letting you know that Miss Isola has suffered very little from fatigue on her long journey. I am ashamed to say that I came home rather the more tired of the two, but I am a very unpractised traveller. She has had 2 tolerable nights' sleep since, and is decidedly not worse than when we left you. I remembered the magnesia according to your directions, and promised that she shall be kept very quiet, never forgetting that she is still an invalid. We found my sister very well in health, only a little impatient to see her, and after a few hysterical tears for gladness, all was comfortable again. We arrived here from Epping between 5 and 6. The incidents of our journey were trifling, but you bade me tell them. We had then in the coach a rather talkative gentleman, but very civil all the way, and took up a servant maid at Stamford, going to a sick mistress. To the latter, a participation in the hospitalities of your nice rusks and sandwiches proved agreeable, as it did to my companion, who took merely a sip of the weakest wine and water with them. The former engaged me in a discourse for full 20 miles on the probable advantages of steam carriages, which being merely problematical, I bore my part in with some credit, in spite of my totally unengineer-like faculties. But when somewhere about Stansted, he put an unfortunate question to me as to the probability of its turning out a good turnip season. And when I, who am still less of an agriculturist than a steam philosopher, not knowing a turnip from a potato ground, innocently made answer that I believed it depended very much upon boiled legs of mutton, my unlucky reply set Miss Isola a-laughing to a degree that disturbed her tranquillity for the only moment in our journey. I am afraid my credit sank very low with my other fellow-traveller, who had thought he had met with a well-informed passenger, which is an accident so desirable in a stage-coach. We were rather less communicative, but still friendly, the rest of the way. How I employed myself between Epping and Enfield, the poor verses in the front of my paper, may inform you, which you may please to christen an acrostic in a cross-road, and which I wish were worthier of the lady they refer to. But I trust you will plead my pardon to her on a subject so delicate as a lady's good name. Your candour must acknowledge that they are written straight. And now, dear madam, I have left myself hardly space to express my sense of the friendly reception I found at Fornham. Mr. Williams will tell you that we had the pleasure of a slight meeting with him on the road, where I could almost have told him, but that it seemed ungracious, that such had been your hospitality, that I scarcely missed the good master of the family at Fornham, though heartily I should have rejoiced to have made a little longer acquaintance with him. I will say nothing of our deeper obligations to both of you, because I think we agreed at Fornham that gratitude may be over-exacted on the part of the obliging, and over-expressed on the part of the obliged person. My sister and Miss Isola join in respects to Mr. Williams and yourself, and I beg to be remembered kindly to the Miss Hammonds and the 2 gentlemen whom I had the good fortune to meet at your house. I have not forgotten the election in which you are interesting yourself, and the little that I can, I will do immediately. Miss Isola will have the pleasure of writing to you next week, and we shall hope at your leisure to hear of your own health, etc. I am, dear madam, with great respect, your obliged. Added in Miss Isola's hand, I must just add a line to beg you will let us hear from you, my dear Mrs. Williams. I have just received the forwarded letter. Fornham we have talked about constantly, and I felt quite strange at this home the first day. I will attend to all you said, my dear madam. I do not know which of Lamb's acrostics was the one in question, possibly this on Mrs. Williams' youngest daughter, Louisa Clare Williams. Least daughter but not least beloved of Grace, O frown not on a stranger, who from place unknown and distant these few lines hath penned. I but report what thy instructress friend so oft hath told us of thy gentle heart. A pupil most affectionate thou art, careful to learn what elder years impart. Louisa Clare, by which name shall I call thee? A prettier pair of names sure ne'er was found, resembling thy own sweetness in sweet sound. Ever calm peace and innocence befoul thee. See Val, Roman 4 of this edition,